Okay, welcome in Jungsohn Mädels. Das ist Michael Schumacher. I am Michael fucking Schumacher, and this is Schumacher Road to Glory Season 2, Round 2 at the Jeddah Corniche Circuit in Saudi Arabia. If you missed the first race of the year, go back and take a watch as we had a pretty decent race. So we're just going to go over the standings again. Ferrari first in the constructor standings, followed by Red Bull, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, and Williams, all the points scoring teams. We are first and third in the driver standings with Max Verstappen P2, Valtteri P4, and Checo in P5. And our boy Alex Albon here in P8 with 4 points for his new team, AlphaTauri. So let's go ahead and check our email. Congrats here. Post-race overview there. Let's take a look at our facilities. Just waiting on the factory. 52 days left. That's good. Staff facilities, refurbing the team hub, and operations facility. We need to refurb the memorabilia room. All right, so that is it. Our drivers have some points to distribute, or at least one of them does anyway. Let's go with control. Yes, because we need them to not spin out during races and crash out. Enzo doesn't get one. Pietro doesn't get one. Let's take a look at our staff. Nothing from our staff. Actually, you know what? I think we can hire some more engineers. Yes, nothing they can do for now because we can't develop anything. But when we actually start manufacturing parts... Oh, crap. Actually, we have to manufacture some parts because I think we're short on a few parts. Yes. So I'd like to always have 4 parts in reserve. Good, we got 4 there. We got 4 there. We only got 2 there, so let's go ahead and... Whoop. We have all the money in the world, guys. We are Michael fucking Schumacher, and we are a billionaire. Okay, so we need 2 here. And we need 2 here. One of the fucking ignorant neighbors is fucking blasting their music again. I fucking hate this place. This place was perfect until about a month ago when like a whole bunch of new people moved in. And now it's just fucking annoying as hell. Alright, so we're good with parts for now. Oh yeah, said we were going to take a look at the cars. So we'll take a look at our cars. Still first in everything except for brake and engine cooling, which are probably the 2 of the least important parts on the car, but we'll go down team by team and see where they rank on grid. We've only had 1 race so far, so it's kind of hard to decipher who's good at what. McLaren is middle of the pack to back of the pack. They have an 8th in high-speed cornering, but they also have 17th in acceleration, 17th in DRS acceleration, and 17th in brake cooling. So middle to the back, Red Bull looks to be the 2nd best team on the grid. They have a bunch of 3rds, 5ths, 6th, and 7th and 10th in the cooling department, but like I said, not important. So Red Bull, probably the 2nd fastest team. Mercedes, they look okay. They probably look to be the 3rd, 4th best team, although their top speed looks like they need quite a bit of help. 17th, 15th up here, and 15th, 15th in DRS. How about Alpine? Alpine looked actually pretty good in that first race, and their stats or their car ratings looks like it as well. Again, their top speed and acceleration, but their DRS acceleration is actually 3rd on the grid. So 2nd best car on the grid in DRS acceleration, but everywhere else they look to be about the maybe 3rd or 4th best. All right, let's see. Williams. Oh boy, yeah, this looks like Williams, my playthrough of Williams after like the 2nd month. Just improving a little bit, pretty much back at the grid still. Haas. And Haas looks like the start of my Williams playthrough. 20th, 20th, 18th, 16th, 18th, 20th, 14th, 18th, 16th, 18th. The only parts that they have that are good are brake and engine cooling that are in the top half, but once again, probably the least important parts of a car. AlphaTauri, Alex Albon managed to score a few points in the last race, so the car doesn't look to seem that bad. Right in the middle, actually. 9th, 11th, 11th, 10th, 13th, 9th, 11th, 8th, 10th, 12th. Yeah, so pretty much middle of the pack. Alfa Romeo, probably the third best car on the grid, right behind Red Bull. Their stats look pretty damn good here. First in brake and engine cooling. Don't really know if that's going to do much. And Aston Martin, I don't think they scored any points. Really good top speed, though. Look at that. Top speed and DRS top speed acceleration. And their acceleration is the second on the grid. Third car, their first car number 1 is third on the grid, so that means they're second best on the grid overall. So there we go. We just went over those teams. 4 days left until Jeddah, so we will continue here. What is this? We got an email here. Race prep, race preview, performance targets. I think we met every one of these targets in the last race, so we'll go ahead and just do that again. All right, and that is it. We're going to start the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Everybody, I will take care of practice and quality once again. I'll see you for the start of the race. All right, boys, we are back for the Jeddah race, and it looks like we qualified P1 and P2.
The time has come to
I should have taken a look at the gap. But let's see this. Oh my god, almost 1 second faster than Verstappen Mick was, and then just 1/10 faster than Verstappen was Enzo. So looks like Mick should clearly run away with the win here. Oh my god, 99% confidence with both guys. And surprise, surprise, another dry race in the desert for our guys. It looks like should be a clear one-stop race here. We won't even have to push with Mick anyway, as he clearly has the pace here, almost a second a lap faster than Max Verstappen. Now we might have to manage the tires on Enzo here a little bit, but I think we can... Whoops, I forgot to update. Alright, so I think we can probably do a one-stop for both of these guys. 99% confidence. Do we want to give them some extra fuel? Let's give them 1 lap worth of extra fuel for both of these guys, and let's start this race. We're going to pause again just to see what tires everybody's on.
There's a very overcast night in... It's almost
Can we
time
see?
for the
Alright,
Saudi
looks like
Arabian
mediums and
Grand
hards. A couple of softs in the back, but I can see some mediums here, and then hards on that side of the grid as well.
And away we go.
Not quite crafty. Yeah, pretty much mediums and hards. Verstappen on hards, Russell, Sainz, and Joe on softs. Alex qualified P12. I'm going to keep an eye on Alex, but let's go ahead and we can use a bit of fuel here to push, a bit of fuel here to push. We'll go 2x, and then we'll see what happens. All right, let's see who can get down the first corner here. Max almost got out into P2, but Enzo held him off of there, and we're looking good. We'll take a look from Max's view here. Ferrari's out in front by about a half a second now, and Max is falling back. Wow, look at that, 3/4 of a second already. 8/10, 9/10, yellow sector 2. Just a quick flash. Almost are. Can we get outside of DRS in this first lap? Holy crap, we just got outside of DRS on this first lap. Joe locks up, but he's in last place anyway.
Let's take a look at the
Was he in
replay.
last place?
So this was the Aston Martin.
No, he wasn't.
And yes, that's
Stroll was in last place. Oh boy. It looks like the Aston Martin's on the worst team on the grid, but they still managed to qualify better than Stroll. Alright, so back to the start now. We are at 2x and already outside of Verstappen's DRS. Mick almost about to drop Enzo outside of DRS as well. Now, oh, another quick flash of yellow maybe? Yes, quick flash of yellow. I don't know what happened there. Still under yellow. Alright, we're back on Tsunoda crash on turn 4. So both Aston Martins crashing out in the first part of the race here. Not a great car. Did he get any damage? Yeah, he must have gotten some damage there. Just smashed into the wall. Okay, so we are back to race speed. Enzo did drop out of Mick's DRS there, but I think we're both clearly so far ahead now that it doesn't really matter. DRS is enabled. We're going to go 8x for now. Looks like Ferrari, Red Bull, and then you have AlphaTauri, the clear third fastest car, and then Alpine fourth fastest, followed by the Mercedes, and then the AlphaTauris, I should say. Okay, so we're at 8x now, clearly ahead of everybody else. Looks like the Red Bulls are actually fighting with the Alfa Romeos here. Alfa Romeo is able to keep up with the Red Bulls quite easily here. And possibly, yeah, wow, Bottas just overtook Verstappen momentarily. And Bottas is on the hards as well. Okay, let's see if we can... I would love it if we can get a pit stop gap to the Red Bulls by the time everybody pits. It's always nice just to have that buffer zone in case we do something and crash out, or in case our tires don't last nearly as long as we expect them to. But it does look like they should make it. Yeah, it looks like they both should make it, and we're actually doing a little bit better. I can see a sliver of black, although I don't know if that's just the graphics. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty much right on schedule. But we are pushing on fuel a little bit as well, so that could explain why we aren't doing better than expected. So we'll just go back to regular fuel usage for now, since we have such a huge gap on the next fastest teams. Yeah, Alfa Romeo is easily able to stay with the Red Bulls. Red Bulls probably not doing themselves any favors by fighting with each other, as I keep seeing Verstappen and Perez flip-flopping P3 and P4, and then every once in a while an Alfa Romeo is able to shoot up into P3 and P4. First pits of the race, Russell, Sainz, and Zhou into the pit boxes. Tsunoda already 17 seconds behind, probably because he crashed out and had to pit so early in the race. But Mick right now is about 14 seconds in front of Bottas in P3, who just found himself in front of the Red Bulls for the moment. But still quite a bit of a DRS train, all the way back to about Gasly, and then 10 seconds to Ocon. And then, yeah, all right, so the field spread out a little bit here, and Mick's already almost caught up to Tsunoda by lap 15. That's crazy. Yeah, Bottas still on P3, as the Red Bulls aren't doing themselves any favors. They're still continuing to fight. Verstappen on the harder compound tire, and Perez not able to get out in front of him, but he's about to come in for a pit stop soon anyway, as are we. Yep, just about 5 more laps or so, and then we should be, well, about 3 laps into our pit window. 1 lap into our pit window, and then a couple more laps until I expect everybody else to start pitting. But we're still at 52%, so I might not even go just quite yet. We are on board with Verstappen now, trying to get by Bottas. Can he get by Bottas here on this straight? Alright, so both of our guys just entered the pit window. Verstappen does take the position. Perez goes by as well, as Bottas didn't have DRS going down that section there. So Verstappen now 7 seconds behind Enzo, and Enzo 11 seconds behind Mick at this point. 49 to 45. So even though Mick's smoothness is, I think, like about a dozen points higher than Enzo's in the driver ratings, Enzo's still able to keep within 5% of tire life with Mick. So this is looking pretty good for us. But now that Verstappen's gotten back out in front and he's about to drop the Alfa Romeos, Max is starting to close that gap a little bit. So we'll ignore this. I think I'll have Enzo go.
We can push a bit more.
Yeah, I'll have Enzo push for this last lap, and then we will have him. You know what? Yeah, I think he has to come in on this lap here. He's at 36% now. Where is Enzo? Alright, so right before he goes into the pits, we'll go right back to standard, which is right about now. Mick, we will have him go on the attack. Now Verstappen is still out in front. Enzo comes in P6, about 4.5 seconds behind Leclerc, but that he should make easy work of him. And then this is probably the lap that we should send Mick in, as he is at about 35% now as well. Alright, so Mick about to go into the pits. These guys all on the hards are still at about 50%. So we're going to have to manage with Enzo here a little bit, as he came out into traffic. Mick came out still in P1, so he'll be okay. But we'll have to manage Enzo here a little bit, as he needs to clear some of this traffic here. Alright, so he's right up behind Leclerc now. Actually, we probably don't even need to do that. Yep, easy pass on Leclerc, and then a little bit of clear air there until he catches up to Bottas.
position.
We'll just use this fuel to push a little bit to make sure that Leclerc doesn't attack from behind, but we're already 2 seconds in front of him as he is still on the really, really old hards. Yeah, they're all under 50% now, whereas Enzo is on brand new hard compound tires, so he should make easy work. Might have a little bit of an issue coming up to these guys now since there's a 3-car DRS train, but as they continue to fight, Enzo's actually able to catch up really quickly here, and they still all have one more pit stop left to go, so let's just go overtake here and see if we can get out in front of some of these guys. Up to P4 now. Just got out in front of Bottas. Should make easy work of Gasly. Yep, and then Verstappen, and then there we go. We are back out in front, although Verstappen just overtook us back on that DRS straight. But I suppose it's not going to be too difficult to get back out in front of Verstappen here. And we have plenty. There we go.
And DRS is disabled. DRS disabled.
All right. So there we go. Now we are outside of Verstappen's DRS. We are okay for now. I'm going to wait for him to extend the gap a little bit before I start harvesting battery once again, just to make sure that we don't end up just wasting a whole bunch of time having to fend off Verstappen, who still has to make a pit stop. So even without much battery left in our car, we are still able to extend the gap. Now 6 seconds for the Gasly. I think that's good enough. We'll harvest now just in case there's an emergency. And look at Mick, still 100% battery here. It'd be great to finish 1-2. Hungary, I think, is race number 13. So we have 13 races where we aren't allowed to make any development to the cars. Oh boy. So 13 races, well, 12 left, including this one, where we hope that our driver ratings are good enough to be able to take the fastest car on the grid and score some really good points. Now, we only managed to finish P3 at Bahrain with Enzo, so it's a little bit concerning, although Bahrain was a little bit more technical of a track than Jeddah is. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of the track here where it's just pretty much flat out, and the rest of it is really high-speed corners. The only places where there's hard braking is probably for this final corner here, and then turns 1 into the first chicane. So you're not wasting too much time on the brakes, and it's mostly on throttle here. So it's having a really fast car actually helps you out, as it doesn't require quite as much technical skill, which will probably explain why Enzo is doing so well here compared to a track like Bahrain. And it looks like everybody else has already come in for their pit stop. Max is 17 seconds behind. He is on the faster compound now. And we were harvesting for a little while. Enzo, all right, so we have to start conserving a little bit of fuel here, as we were pushing with the fuel for the longest time. Now, is 17 seconds enough for Enzo to hold him off? 10 laps left to go. All right, I think we are at net positive fuel one more time. Yeah, I think we should still be okay because the gap is at 16 seconds and staying pretty stable there. Dropping a little bit pretty much through the corners. Yeah, it's dropping a little bit, but there's only about 8 laps left to go, so I think a 15.5 second gap should be good enough. Let's just go ahead and go 16x here. We have full battery on both of our cars and still have pretty decent tire life left. 5 laps left to go. Yeah, should we go light? No, I think we'll be okay. 42%. Yeah, maybe we should go light on the tires here just to make sure Enzo doesn't get under 30%. Once you get under 30%, your lap times just start dipping. So under 40, you start to see the car slow down a little bit, but under 30%, the pace is just totally gone. So we want to make sure that we can stay above 30 until the end of the race here.
And last lap.
Last lap is now going on, and it looks like we should be able to hold off now. Yeah, 12 seconds. Max was making a bit of a comeback there as we were starting to go easy on the tires, but there's just not enough time left in the race. So Mick finishes P1. Enzo's going to come in a clear P2. Yellow flag there right at the end, but still good enough for us, guys. I will take that. P1, P2 in a second race. After that first race, I didn't think we were going to be such a clear-cut 1 and 2 at Jeddah. But like I said, Jeddah is a less technical track, you're pretty much relying on the top speed of the car. Very low downforce track, so very few chances for Enzo to make a mistake, and luckily both drivers pulled through. I don't think we had an incident with either of our drivers there, so that was nice and easy for us. Next track is it Australia? Australia might be a little bit more difficult, as yeah, there's some more complex corners at Australia, but we'll worry about that when we get to there. For now, we should enjoy this here. Don't think we're going to get too much experience gain, as we started 1-2 and we finished 1-2. But Enzo did have to do a few overtakes after his pit stop, so we'll see. Results, we finished 38 seconds ahead of Enzo. Mick did anyway. And then 12 seconds ahead of Max. So 40, almost 50 seconds faster than Max Verstappen Mick was, which that's pretty much it, because we were about a second a lap, a second faster than Max in quali, and then we finished 50 laps, 50 seconds faster than Max. So wow, that was pretty spot on there. Driver standing, Mick is still P1, Max Verstappen P2, Enzo Fittipaldi tied for P2 actually with 33 points, Valtteri with 22, Sergio tied with 22, Ocon there with 10, Gasly 9, George with 7, Leclerc with 6, Albon didn't get any points. Where did he finish? P12. 2 points away, 2 positions away. But in the constructors, we are now 30 points ahead of Red Bull, Alfa Romeo with 31, Alpine with 16, Mercedes 11, AlphaTauri with 4 still, Williams with 2. I'm glad to see Williams starting off okay, starting off with points. But yeah, look at that, not nearly as many experience gain as in the first race. I don't believe so anyway. For Enzo, 14-14, I think he had a few hundred more points there, but we do get 1 development point for Enzo, so that is good. We meet all of our expectations, I believe. Yes, we do. So we come home with a cool $5.1 million. Memorabilia room refurbishing complete. And that is it, guys. So it is Albert Park Circuit next up, but that was a really good race for us, finishing 1-2. We need more of those if we intend to fight for the Drivers and Constructors Championship. Drivers Championship, I think we might be okay with. Constructors Championship, I'm not quite sure, but the Drivers Championship, like I said, our drivers are still susceptible to going off track, so even having the fastest car on track doesn't guarantee a win. But that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support for, I don't know if I said this in the first video or the race at Bahrain, but thank you for the support for the first season of Schumacher Road to Glory. Did much better than I expected, so thank you for that. And if you enjoyed this, please remember to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Remember to eat a bok choy, and I'll see you guys in the next race.